What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a new video. So last weekend, had the pleasure to go out to the Dallas NARBC Reptile Show. And while we were there for the weekend, we got to stop by one of my closest friends in the hobby, Patrick Holmes, and see his collection. As many of you probably know, he has one of the most diverse and eclectic collections of reptiles in the country, and a lot of stuff that I'm a big fan of. So this is part one of the collection tour. We're going to be looking at some of his vipers, green tree pythons, mangrove snakes, and much, much more. So stay tuned. This is going to be a good one.
So these are Parias McGregori. They are from the Philippines. These were captive bred in Germany. They come in a lot of different colors. They're really, really variable. Just this locality, from what I understand, comes in the yellow, black, and white. And then there's a patterned and a more patternless look. So this white one, these are all litter mates.
Okay.
So this one has that more patternless look. If you get, I don't know if you can, well, you can kind of see it in that angle. They have that ridge with this supraocular scale down to the rostrils.
Yeah.
That just gives them that kind of menacing look,
Yeah.
right? And you know, as they mature, especially the females get that bigger head, that just gets much more pronounced. So the adults just have one of my favorite head shapes, and they're pretty feisty little things, and they get really big. The females get, for an arboreal viper, I mean, I think over 3 feet long, pretty heavy.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, they've been doing good. These were CB in Germany, and it was a good sized litter. And I had only ever seen these in zoos before. I'd seen them at Dallas and Fort Worth Zoo, but I'd never seen them in captive, private collections stateside. So we were excited to get these little guys.
Yeah, that's amazing, man.
Yeah, they're smashing small pinkies. These are Wagler's vipers. They were all born to females that were imported, gravid. So that's a female that's starting to go through her ontogenetic color change. She's actually well into it. These guys will be 2 years old in June.
Okay.
This is a male. They're, obviously highly sexually dimorphic.
Yeah.
You can tell at birth, though. You see he's got the little dots, and the females have bands at birth. So they're sexually dimorphic in pattern, but their color is identical. Pretty quickly, you can start to see the head change difference. And then even on the same diet, you start to see the growth rate difference really quickly.
All right.
And this girl's just kind of starting to get into the change.
He's badass, man.
I've been, a lot of guys they have issues with them in tubs. These tubs are well ventilated, and I don't let them stay wet. I do, you can see that we're like damp here. Yeah. But I'm going to grab this really quick. I just make sure they're hydrated, and I put this lid on there and just set it in the sink and let it rain on them.
Nice.
And that seems to work out just fine.
Cool.
And so I don't get RIs, and they're not having any problems moving waste, and didn't even have to do that it's the girls. They get backed up after a while. So but once I started doing this, that goes away.
Nice.
Just a little simple rain chamber technique. The girls are about ready to move up into something bigger. So these are the Tropidolaemus laticinctus, and I say that with quotation marks around caution. The laticinctus, because we now don't think that laticinctus is a thing. I believe this litter proved that. I thought I was the first person in the world to breed these in captivity. There's a lot of guys in Indonesia that will claim that they know somebody that bred them or whatever, but it's all just babies from females that were captured, gravid. Sure. Like nobody has any evidence of breeding them in captivity. So I got this litter in July, and it turns out that a gentleman in China had a litter on the exact same day as me. So, but I was really confused to come in and see all these green babies. And so what I believe this proves is that Laticinctus is not actually a species. They share range with Subannulatus. And so it looks like this is just a color phase. What we call Laticinctus is just a color phase of Subannulatus. And this is no different than green and yellow and red baby chondros, or like green and gold eyelash vipers, or garden versus colored Amazon tree boas. It's just a different color phase of the same animal. And the cool thing is, like, we'll call it the laticinctus phase, that banded phase like that, they are not sexually dimorphic at birth, unlike the green ones, where you can see the difference in the dots versus the bands, just like I was talking about with the
so that's with a male,
exactly,
that's a female?
Male, female, male. You can see the difference, and you also remember I've just mentioned that you start seeing a growth rate discrepancy pretty early on.
Okay, you can definitely see that with these three.
Yeah, and nice. And they're all in the same feeding schedule, although their very last meal, I'm still giving these two pinkies and these two are on peach fuzzies.
Okay.
I'm still not 100% sure on the sex on this one. But so unlike these, they're not sexually dimorphic in color at birth, but just like Wagleri and subannulatus, as they mature, the males don't change, but the females do undergo an ontogenetic color change. So males stay pretty much like this their whole life, same with the greens, but the females will go through a change.
Okay.
So this is, I guess these are now Craspidocephalus too. They used to be Trimeresurus, Trigonocephalus. We call them trigons or trim trigs.
Yeah.
Sri Lankan palm viper is the common name. And what I like about him, he's pretty high black.
Yeah.
And they have this matte black instead of like a gloss black. Yeah. And they can be a bit sexually dimorphic. The female that I have has a lot more yellows, and you see his green leans a lot more blue.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I didn't know that. That's cool.
And look at that face.
Yeah. No, they are amazing. They're one of the coolest old worlds.
Yeah, they're one of my favorites. I got these guys as little tiny neonates, and they're eating half pinkies when I got them. And I've raised them up to adults, and I'm hoping to get a litter next year because this year I did not have good luck with them. So these are Bothrops bilineatus. They used to be Bothriopsis, and I don't follow a lot of the taxonomy stuff a lot, but they need to be in a different genus than Bothrops. Like, this is not a Fertilance. Okay.
Not the slightest.
But these are adult animals. They're actually pretty long compared to a lot of arboreal vipers. They're real long and lean. They are highly, highly toxic, man. They're really, really toxic. But these are very easy to work with. If I'm not careful with them, sometimes they'll get a little bit flighty. Okay. But they don't flail and do all the crazy stuff that squams do, or some of the Trimeresurus. They're really easy to work, and I really like them. But you have to be really cautious because they've got their reach is just a little more than you might think that it is. And I don't know how well this color is going to pick up. These things are really, really a nice blue shade.
Oh, for sure.
And Cody Bartolini produced these in Florida, and they're one of my favorites. That head shape is wicked. Yeah. Nice yellows. Just really cool snakes, man. So this is a Bothriacus bicolor. Those are really, really awesome blues on these things. These are just like those Chloracus. They're chondro colored vipers. These things look just like a red baby sorong or something like that. And they have black tails too. Yeah. The Chloracus that I have black tails. So I dig my chondro colored vipers. This is a super tiger eyelash viper. I love the contrast on these tigers and the supers. It's really, really unique. That white in her banding gives it a really cool contrast. She's big enough to breed, but I think I'm going to go ahead and give her one more year.
Okay. They
can actually breed smaller than this. I'm going to show you a proven female that's much smaller than this girl is, which is crazy to me.
So tell me about this guy.
So this animal I produced, they just hit a year old. They're 13 months old. And their dad is just a locality mutt that Jason Stevens produced. That's Colorado Chondros. So Sorong Arfok times Sorong Biak. So just a bunch of locality mixed blood. And then mom was undocumented. I got her at a pet store in Colorado, and she was a really unique animal that was really dark. She was almost black with blue dusting after the last clutch.
Oh, wow.
And so these guys are just super mutts without any background on the mom, but we kind of think maybe she could have just been a locality mutt too, like a Eastern times Biak or something, but she had 6 ink spots, which is something we see in like blue line and sometimes calico stuff.
Yeah.
And I've never seen a chondro with 6 ink spots like she had. And she was dominant red. And this animal is going through a black OCC, and you see that hard line right there.
Yeah.
So I had already named this one Colorado because both of Dad's parents were produced in Colorado by Jason Stevens, and also because I got their mom in Colorado. But somebody also suggested that I name this thing Brisket, and I like that too. So maybe one of the siblings will get the Brisket name, or I'm not really sure yet. But all that red is going to turn like a rich, deep yellow, even on the belly. So you see how the belly's red as well.
Yeah.
All that's going to be yellow. Who knows how much of the black it'll keep? Maybe a lot, maybe none. Maybe this will be a green snake with a yellow belly. Like, there's really no way to tell. But I'm assuming that it's going to keep some degree of melanism. And what I'm really hoping for is that when some of this black fades out that it'll be like a really dark green, that there will be some blues in there, and that there will be black edging on the diamonds. That's kind of
so cool.
Yeah. So, as I was saying, this is my favorite chondro that I've ever hatched for my favorite pairing that I ever did. Both parents really blue animals. Dad was Prada Maniquari Cyclops times Prada Maniquari Vinsky, produced by David Brahms, and mom was a Bushmaster Arfak times Jayapura.
Okay. That
probably had blue parents and blue lineage. Like, that's kind of a well-known line from the old farm breedings. And I mean, it's obvious why I like this animal, but this thing was insane looking at it as a baby. Just really crazy bold patterning and crazy yellow diamonds and dark chocolate brown. But it's obviously just completely dripping in blue. And even if it never develops any more blue than it has right now, and all this green ground color fills in, it's still going to be a really wicked animal with a ton of blue. But I suspect that at a fairly young age, this animal will just be extremely high blue, and by the time it's 5 to 7 years old, it'll just be completely blue with yellow diamonds. So
all right, everybody, thank you for checking out that video. If you liked it, please subscribe here on the YouTube channel, like, comment, share, hit that notification bell as well so you never miss a new episode. I drop a new video every single Friday here on the channel. If you want to follow everything that Patrick has going on, his links are going to be down in the description below. For me, I'm on Instagram at Scrub Shepherd, Stephen Cush on Facebook, Cush Reptile on Morph Market as well. And I have a podcast every Wednesday night on the Trap Talk Reptile Network called Cush's Corner. So if you guys could check all that out, that would be wonderful. All the links are down in the description as well. And with all that said, thank you everyone for checking out the video, and I'll catch you all back here next week.